What's going on, guys? Jeff Fan here. Yamamoto on the screen. This is my Azuma build, and Yamamoto I basically use exclusively on the Azuma Makawa on all of the Japanese cruisers. It's going to be a pretty decent game here in Azuma, but this is going to be a little more of a passive game in Azuma. And what I mean by that is the way that I played Azuma in this game is more of that fire starter build. Played a little more close to the vest. You know, you see here I'm trying to make a decision what side I want to go to. I'm trying to wait and see, you know, maybe which direction our allied ships head here, you know. This map, it's difficult because if you go toward the B cap, okay, on the far spawn that we're on here, you go toward the B cap, you know, you kind of open yourself up to get pinned. But if you go around the far side of the island, you basically render yourself borderline inept for a little while. So I was kind of deciding what to do here, and you're basically going to see I'm going to push up toward this island on the A cap. We're going to really use our islands here in this game, and we're going to try to minimize who can see us when we're firing, etc. Our team did a very good job in this game because they gave us good spotting and the opportunity to take these shots at these enemies. So you see there, we're going to use the auto aim feature. We're going to send a salvo out. We get about a 20-second reload on this Azuma. And basically, the way that I see this Azuma playing is that you have to play it a little bit slower. Azuma, in my opinion, we've talked. I put up videos on Azuma in the past. I think Azuma is a great support cruiser, and it's like that intermediate between a battleship and a cruiser. It's got good armor, but it doesn't have battleship armor. It's got slow, and you see there's a big salvo on a Yamato. Double fire, about 10k with the HE. So, you know, again, you see the power of Azuma, 2 salvos in 17k, 19 with fire damage, etc. But as I was saying, it has that that kind of hybrid feel between a cruiser and a battleship, and it's that heavy cruiser, you know. So do I think Azuma has a place in the game? Absolutely. If you play Azuma like you do a up close and aggressive cruiser, you're gonna have a hard time in this. You see there, my friendly battleship's pinging me. He wants a hand. He's gonna go around the backside of this island. Ochakov's out there, and I'm figuring that there might be something else. But my plan is I'm going to go support him against that Ochakov. So you see there I switched to the armor piercing. As soon as I switch to the AP, Iowa pops up. I ping the Iowa because I want this GK to shoot the Iowa. And I'm basically saying, hey, you shoot the Iowa, I'll shoot at the Ochakov. And we'll try to win this flank, mop this flank up, and go from there. AP in this Azuma is pretty good in the right situations, so don't completely sleep on it. You see there's a good little chunk there, a little 6k salvo. Iowa's got our broadside, so we're going to try to angle out, but Iowa instead takes a shot instead of at us at the GK. I was waiting for this Ochakov to sail a little further. He ends up throwing on the brakes and stopping, so that kind of renders that play useless. I'm hoping he pops back up and around that corner. That's why I'm holding the shot here. That's something that Azuma's, you know, something you gotta basically make a decision on. You get to reload every about 20 seconds with this build, so you have to be mindful of your shots. Now, granted, if I would have known that it would have taken this long to spot him or have him come around that corner, of course I would have taken a shot somewhere else. See there, I just throw a Hail Mary shot out, trying to clear the chambers, and then I switch back to the HE. Now this right here, this position that I'm in, I want you to notice how steeply angled I am to that Iowa, and the fact that I still have all 3 turrets on. This is the position that Azuma excels in, this kiting style position. With that Ochakov basically hiding behind the island and not being a threat to my broadside, I'm going to sit in this position. And we're just going to start lobbing HE at this Iowa. Now, I've been in the position that this Iowa is currently in several times in this game. I mean, you know, we've all been there. I'm a battleship guy. I like battleships. I like cruisers. Those are my 2 classes. So I have some sympathy for this guy because he's just going to get absolutely lit on fire by me here, and you're seeing, you know, a double fire there. Okay, and we're just gonna burn him. We're just gonna burn him, and he's gonna pay for it. So again, when I was saying before, is this position that this battleship is in, he's in a bad spot, okay? And it's not necessarily anything that he's done, but his team isn't really doing much for him. That Ochakov's hiding behind the island, not fighting our destroyer, not protecting him. This allows our destroyer to basically bum rush him here. Iowa decides he's going to go in swinging, so he comes forward again, and we're just sitting here peppering him. We're lobbing shells. We're just trying to get our fires. We're trying to get our HE damage on the superstructure. Another double fire there. I mean, you know, you're seeing us basically just chunk this Iowa. So you see GK pulls out there, and the Ochakov ends up sinking the Grosser first. I send one salvo out at him, and our Amagi ended up taking out the Ochakov. So again, I'm back. I'm in reverse here. Okay, I'm in reverse. I'm just kind of angling up. I got all these fires going here. We're just burning this Iowa, and we're cooking him. You know. So this is what I'm saying when I say that I think Azuma does have a legitimate place in the game. When you have some teammates that give you the opportunity, that can spot for you, that can keep these guys off of you, you can really be a menace to battleships. You can really be a menace to cruisers in this game. And you see that as the arsonist and the sinking. So in general, as a collective whole ship, I really like Azuma. I really do. I think that it gets the bad rap because the reload is long, you know, and people get upset by that and whatnot. But the fire chance is really good. The AP hits pretty hard. You're pretty well armored. You know, again, for what the ship is, for what she brings to the table, she's good. She is good. So you see there, I kick it into forward. I basically turn the ship around, and we're going to take up that same position. This is a very passive game, and this isn't necessarily how I want to play this ship, and how I want to play the game in general. But when you're just, you know, out there sinking some ships on a night, and you're just chilling, and these opportunities present themselves, there's no reason in Azuma to just start throwing my ship away for nothing. Okay, I'm not just going to go sailing out against this Yamato, okay, and just throw my ship away like I was saying. But at the same time, I wish that this thing had torpedoes, because then I would play this thing much more aggressively. The lack of torpedoes on Azuma basically forces you to play a defensive role, and you see there I get a Witherer. It basically forces you to play a defensive style fight in a defensive role, and as a support heavy cruiser, as opposed to like an offensive attack oriented heavy cruiser, you're basically relegated to more of a backline duty, and that I think is what really gets people on this ship. And you see again, we're just getting fire after fire here, okay, and defense ribbons. We're ticking up the defense ribbons. We're lighting some good fires. We're really maximizing our opportunities in Azuma. This Yamato is getting toasted. We're just sending out salvos on reload here and really cooking this Yamato. We cooked the Iowa. You know, there goes Yamato. You know, I mean, again, we just chunk these battleships with our fire. We're up to 13 fires set in this game. So again, we're just looking for targets here. We're backing out, and I hope that you guys are able to see that with this build and how I play it, Azuma is a legitimate fire option and a legitimate option at tier 7. It's not just this gigantic piece of junk that people make it out to be, and this horrible cruiser. Like, you know, if you get an opportunity in Azuma, okay, to play the ship to its strength, which is a longer range engager. I mean, you know, give Wargaming credit on this one, because the description of Azuma is exactly how you should play Azuma. Okay, a lot of times they give these descriptions that don't necessarily fit the ship. But when the description that it's basically a cruiser that's designed to have very long reach and engage at long range, that is what Azuma is. So, Wargaming definitely gets a tip of the cap for basically hitting the nail on the head with that description. And I know it sounds kind of corny to say, hey, yeah, they're getting a description right of a ship that they put into a game. I understand that, but you know, the initial description on some of these ships when they put them into the game doesn't necessarily line up with how they ultimately play long term. Um, so is Azuma going to be outclassed when ships like Mines come into the game in this next coming update? I I don't know at this point. But all I know is when I play Azuma, okay, you can be a very big threat to people and really be a pain and cause a lot of problems, and basically stop people from advancing on you. I got this fire on this Yamato here again, and basically at this point, because of all these HE salvos that we're throwing out and all these fires that we're getting, this guy's turning in to the island. Between that and the torpedoes, he can't keep pushing. Okay, now you could say it's more so the fact that the friendly destroyer is rushing him. Yes, but again, let's go back to earlier in the game. We're not talking specifically about this Yamato. Um, the Iowa probably would have pushed forward a little more if he had an opportunity against that GK. Again, the fire, the HE we were sending out, halted him, forced him into reverse. Then he ultimately had to go forward once our friendly destroyer came out and started to rush him. Okay, this other Yamato was pushing hard into the B cap. We started lighting him on fire. We cooked him. Okay, threw him threw his brakes on, forced him into a reverse situation, trying to basically back out into safety. Couldn't get there in time. We ended up cooking him. Okay, so my point is this Azuma has that battleship similar role in the sense that it can lock down sections of the map with its HE. Okay, the HE on Azuma is absolutely fantastic. The fire chance is fantastic, and when you use this build that I have here, again, feel free to go back to the beginning, look at the build. You see that Azuma has a legitimate place in this game as a support cruiser. It can assist when people want to push and whatnot, and it can do a great job of basically playing the defensive role on a side of a map. You see there HE salvo, incapacitation of fire, 4100 plus damage, and then we switch to the AP here. Okay, so we got a Hipper, an Ochi, and a Friesland. So I'm not concerned about the torpedoes from the Friesland, because there isn't any. We send the AP out at Hipper. I thought this would be a kill shot on Hipper. Only get about 8k on Hipper there. But again, you're getting 8k on a cruiser, okay? In a cruiser. Could that have been a kill shot? Yes, but Hipper also does have that really good armor, and is a big time hitter in that sense. So we send the HE out at Hipper again. This time we get another almost 7k salvo, incapacitation, defense ribbon, of fire. So I'm throwing on the brakes here. I'm turning in. I know I'm going to take one on the nose, so I haven't burned my decon yet. I burn it now because I know I'm going to take one on the nose, and if I do, based on where that is taking it on the nose, most of the time that leads to a flood because it's not hitting the torpedo belt. So you see there, Friesland, we aim a little bit higher to clear that island. We send a good salvo, another 5,700 chunk salvo on Friesland. Now, of course, I was hoping to sink him. I'm trying to get my rear turret into the action here, but Friesland's going to go down. 169,000 damage for us here in this one. Again, Azuma is that lock it down kind of role. Great HE damage. Use the HE when you can, AP when the opportunity presents itself. If you guys like the video, leave it a like. We will see you guys out on the high seas.